Obviously, Creighton's been playing really, really well. I got to watch the DePaul game today on my laptop. They're shooting the ball really well. I think this is the best I've seen them play. Watched the game against Villanova that they played as well. I think it's a different team than what we played back in December. Zagorowski's obviously healthy, looks healthier. He's moving better. He's playing like a conference player of the year candidate like he should be. So they're playing at a high level right now, and we're going to have our hands full. We really got to defend the three-point line. They're going to push the pace. They're going to try to play really, really, really fast. And those are two areas that we've struggled with recently is our transition defense and our protecting the three-point line. So we're going to have our hands full on Saturday, but it's a huge opportunity for us. It's a quad one opportunity, home game, so we got to be able to protect our home court. Obviously with our seniors, I told those guys a week ago, it's obviously it's different. They're not going to be able to walk out with their families, and there's not going to be a sold-out crowd like there normally is for senior night. But we obviously want to honor those guys, and to show the appreciation that we have for what they've done for our program and for our university and how they've represented us. Nate, I know he's only been here for 1 year, Nate Johnson, but he's been everything that we thought he was going to be. Right? I mean, he's a tremendous shooter, tremendous defender. He's given us a huge punch this year with our team. Brian Griffin, who he just got back, he played last night against Providence for the first time in a few weeks. But Brian has given us a physical presence, rebounds the ball. He's a tough kid. He's a great young man. Really, really, really been appreciative of what he's brought to our team. And then obviously you have Paul Scruggs and Jason Carter. Jason's been here for 2 years. This is his second year being here on a transfer. But Jason, and he's the guy that does a lot of the things that don't show up in the stat sheet. Whether it's he's going to try to guard the other team's best player, he's going to try to keep Nate Watson off the glass. He's going to try to he'll guard the other team's best perimeter player. He can guard 1 through 5 in the Big East, which brings so much value to our team. And then Paul Scruggs, who obviously this is his 4th year here at Xavier. Paul is a warrior. He's our leader of our team, and he's had a really, really good year so far, and hopefully we can finish really strong.
First question for Coach, if you'll use the raise hand button at the bottom of the screen.
Travis, do you have any kind of an update on Nate Johnson at this time?
I don't. We got back about 1 o'clock, just about an hour and a half ago, so I do not.
Joe?
Yeah, Coach, knowing how good of a three-point shooting team Creighton is there going to be any luck to maybe mix in some of your better shooters off the bench like Kiki Tandy or CJ Welcher, or are we going to see a lot of the same lineups that we saw last night?
Joe, I think it depends. I think in theory it's like, man, you lose a guy like Nate Johnson, you would say, okay, well, we probably need some more shooting on the floor, but you could probably go the other direction too and say, man, we got to guard a little bit better. I think those guys are obviously going to get an opportunity. They got to hold their weight on that defensive end. They can't be a sieve at that end. And not that the other guys were doing great, but they were doing better. I do think, again, not knowing where Nate's going to be at, whether he's going to play or not, I think that we have to recreate our team a little bit. Joe, I know it's late in the year. It's a week and a half left in the regular season. It's kind of odd, but, and I think that's what we're kind of in the process of doing. And I think we have to do in order to have the success that we want to have here, especially down the stretch. But again, I'll listen. They're going to get an opportunity. Kiki and CJ and those guys. Well, absolutely. AK, they're going to get a big opportunity. They got to. We need them to play well for us to win.
Andy?
Travis, in game 1 out in Omaha, I guess DeJuan Odom was down with COVID. He seems to be playing better. He's over that. He'll be available. That's got to be a plus.
Yeah, I thought DeJuan, I thought he played a pretty good floor game last night against Providence. He really competed on the defensive end. He had a tall task. He was on David Duke for most of the night. Duke's a tremendous player. He had a good assist to turnover. The whole deal. I know he ended up, I think, with 11 points. So again, I think he adds a level of toughness for our team that we really need, and we're going to need here against Creighton because they are a prolific shooting team, and we need to make it a game of twos as much as possible for them and limit them at the three-point line.
Next question, Adam.
Travis, when you say that you need to recreate your team, can you elaborate on that? And I would imagine that this is probably the first time in your career that with 10 days left in the regular season, you're trying to do something like that.
Yeah, obviously it's been an odd year. But I think, you watch, it's funny, it's like I watched our team play, obviously Creighton the first game, right? And I felt like we could run with Creighton. I thought we had the offensive firepower to run with Creighton. And Nate's a big piece of that, right? He is, because he's our best shooter on our team. And he provides a lot of space out there on the floor for our guys to operate. Not knowing where Nate's going to be at, I just think, man, like we got to play a little bit slower. We got to play a little bit more methodical. How are we going to get to – are we going to be able to get to 80? I don't know. I don't think so. And that's okay. That means we have to shift it a little bit. And listen, we're still going to push the ball. We're going to be opportunistic. But I think we have to have have it in our minds that we have to get the ball reversed. We can't play on the first side of the floor in half court and take quick shots. We can't, not right now. And until I feel like we can play more guys, to be honest. And again, I felt like last night we played. Was it 6 guys for the most part? 6.5, whatever you want to call it. And that's a lot of minutes, man. I mean, Paul was asking to come out of the game 3 different times, and so was DeJuan. It's like, hey, listen, fellas, like we got to suck it up. We got to play. And I just think we got to be a little bit more patient on that offensive end, getting the ball reversed a little bit more. And then on the defensive end, I think, again, like we have to have more urgency, especially, again, obviously you talk about Creighton at the three-point line. I mean, you have to as good as you can. I mean, like I watched the Villanova game, man, they were hitting some circus act shots. I mean, all of a sudden you start getting Mitch out there hitting these 30-footers off balance, and then Zagorowski, and then you got Mahoney, and you got Jefferson, you got all these guys, man. We did a pretty good job in game 1 of defending them. We did a pretty dang good job. A lot of them were contested. We were there with high hands on the catch every single time. We have to get our defense back to that. And if we do that, then I think we'll give ourselves a chance to win here in Cintas at 5 p.m. on Saturday.
Adam?
We've talked a lot about how weird of a year it's been. And, I think it's been hard on everyone at times. And lately, you guys have struggled a little bit. And I'm curious, where do you think your guys are at mentally right now?
Just being transparent, Adam, I think at the end of the year, every year in college basketball, even in normal years, right, I think you start fighting a lot of guys, a lot of people start thinking, what's next, right? What's next for me? Is it am I gonna sign a pro contract over in Turkey? Am I gonna be able to put my name into the NBA draft? Am I gonna leave? Am I gonna transfer? Right? A lot of times I think guys start thinking about what's next, and I think that's natural. That's a natural human tendency to do that. I think for us, when we were shut down there basically back to back, I think you're away from your teammates, you're away from the coaches, you're away from things. You just wonder, like, if guys start thinking about stuff, and you have to live in the present. And that's what we keep on telling our guys is, man, we have a lot to play for. I know we feel down right now, but we can feel great on Saturday, just as bad as we feel right now. And, again, nothing's ever as good as it seems and nothing's ever as bad as it seems. It's somewhere in between. And we're not that far off. We're not. We're actually, I think, a lot closer than what we think, what our players and what our staff sometimes thinks that we are. I think we're closer. We just got to push through. We got to push through. And we have to be motivated, man. You can't, listen, this is the best time of the year. And you see guys opting out all across the country. I think that's the terminology everybody's using, opting out this year. That's the new fad, right? And I just, man, that's not the right mentality, man. It's just not. You know, and I think like our guys have not quit. I thought our effort was good last night. I thought our effort was good, which is good for us. But we need more. We need more, and we have to dig deep to find that. You know, and you know, again, we need that leadership in that locker room. It starts with Paul and Jason and Zach, and to get through tough times. Again, Big East is Big East, man. Every game's going to be tough. Every game's going to be hard. A normal year, and during a pandemic, it doesn't really matter. There's going to be ups and downs, and you got to be able to, you know, rely on your culture, rely on your leadership during those times.
Andy?
Travis, obviously, Creighton's been known for let it fly and prolific shooting and scoring, as you mentioned, but their defensive numbers this year are way, I mean, top 50. Is it just experience with the group, or what are they doing? Are they doing anything differently?
I don't think they're necessarily doing anything differently, Andy. I think they have a couple really versatile guys in Mahoney, and Damian Jefferson, Christian Bishop. Those guys are really mobile, front court guys. 3, 4s, and 5s, and they can guard a lot of different positions. Zagorowski, I think, is a plus defender as well. He's obviously a really, really talented offensive player, but he's a really good defender as well. So, they got guys who are really good on both ends. I mean, that's what they've really, you could tell they put a point of emphasis on recruiting, because, again, in this league, it's hard to be just one-sided. If you're just a guy that can only defend and not really score or not impact the game in rebounding, or not, if that's the only thing you can do is defend, then you're going to be a little bit limited. And I could flip it and say, well, yeah, if you're a guy that can really shoot the ball and score the ball, but then you give up more than you score, well, that's not good either. There's too good of coaches in this league. There's too good of players in this league that I think you'll get exposed if you're just a one-trick pony. And that's what we keep on telling all of our guys, man. Whether it's Adam, whether it's Zach, whether it's Jason, how many ways can you impact the game, right? The more ways you can impact the game, the more valuable you are, the more likely you're going to get more minutes, right? If you're just a one-trick pony, you're not going to get as many minutes.
One last question for Coach Adam.
Travis, how hard is it to think about the fact that you're sitting up there talking about Paul Scruggs' last game in Cintas Center?
Yeah, Paul's meant. I've known Paul for a long time, a really, really, really long time. I was the one who recruited him here when I was an assistant coach. The recruitment started when he was in 8th grade at the time. I'll never forget the first time I saw him play. You could tell right then and there. He was a different position, Adam. You didn't know if he was going to grow or not. He was a center in 8th grade. I mean, he was the same height that he is right now. And, just really proud of him, how far he's come just as a person, student, and player. Couldn't be more proud of him. And I'm excited to see kind of what the future holds for Paul. But, again, we're very appreciative of everything he's done for our program, how much work he's put in for our program, and how he represents our program as well.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks.